Okay, welcome to Reloved Guitars, and I just wanted to show you some of my recent builds, things I've made, and these are some of my Oakcasters. And the first thing to say about these is that they're designed as a travel guitar. So you can see that they have a small body, a full-size neck, and I didn't want to go to a short scale. I wanted them to be familiar and playable, but also I wanted them to be able to go into your luggage. Now, those of you who travel regularly will know that there's increasing squeeze on cabin space, so the idea of a small guitar that you put in its own case isn't realistic anymore. You won't get, very rarely will you get that onto the overhead lockers. So the logic behind these was to make a guitar that felt and sounded as good as any full-scale guitar, but also was designed so that you can take it apart quickly, put it to two pieces in your luggage which fit into a normal small suitcase, and take them on holiday with you, and then put them together at the other end with some hex keys. And I'll show you a quick close up here. It's got some stuff on it. There we go. So an example, those are M6 bolts. I think they're quite fairly small, but they hold the neck really strongly in position. And so instead of pushing screws into wood, that you can remove these because they go into threaded bolts inside the heel space here. So designed to be taken apart and reassembled as many times as you want without worrying about stripping out the screws. But also the important thing about these is they're set up really to play really light and really precisely, and providing that you put the bolts back in and screw them up tight, you'll get exactly the same action each time out of the guitar. So this one is, oh my goodness, I've forgotten the number. Can I edit this in afterwards? This one is, number 3 is that one, number 4 is that one, number 5 it's got to be this one. And this is made with red oak on the bottom, which is really nice and solid, and it's got giant redwood on the top, which is a pretty highly figured wood, and it's quite light. So overall this is quite a light guitar. It has a maple neck with rosewood fingerboard, and it has Wilkinson mini button tuners on the top for nice quality, stable tuning. And it's equipped with a simple one-piece wraparound bridge, which is characteristic of all of the guitars I'm making. There's nothing simpler or easier to use than this. So when you go on holiday, you take the strings off, that drops off, you just tuck it away somewhere in a sock or in your little pocket in your suitcase, and away it goes with you. That's the only thing that comes off. This is fitted with an Iron Gear Alchemist P90 pickup, so it's got a really nice ringing tone to it, and it's a simple volume and tone control, nothing more complex than that. So hopefully, if my technology of mixing these two things together works, you'll be able to hear much more, or a really good clear recording of this. Fingers crossed that that Tascam is doing the job. Like all of the Oakcasters that I'm making, this has got a really nice low playable action. This one is, I think it's currently set at just over 1.5 millimeters and 1.4 or 3 on the treble side at the last fret. So it's a really easy to play guitar, and it's got a very light first fret action as well, which is cut down to 0.3 millimeters across the first fret on all strings. This not only makes it light able to play down here, effortless to play, but it also means that you don't have any of the intonation problems that you get when the first fret action is anything above 0.5, which is very common on many guitars, including the expensive brand name ones. So this is obviously, I pay close attention to that, because that's what makes my setups as good as they are. And so the nice thing about this guitar, as with all of them, is that once you put the neck back on and you put the bridge back on, you get back the exact action, because when these need fret leveling, I level them with the guitar in the playing configuration so that it's leveled with the strings on. I have to say that a lot of these newer, most recent Oakcasters using this particular brand of neck that I've sourced from China don't need fret leveling at all, which is quite unusual. It's highly unusual, in fact. Not even your Fenders and Gibsons get away with that. But these manufacturers, I think I've got very lucky, so I bought a whole batch quickly. They make them so well that I pretty much put them on and I can play straight away and get the action on them. So this is an example of that. This didn't need any fret leveling, nor do it, in fact, any of these that you can see here. So this is number 5, Gold hardware. This is the first of 2 giant redwood or sequoia guitars, and the nice thing about these is, as I said before, they are because they use oak, and people say oak isn't a good wood to use for guitars. What I wanted with these guitars was I wanted the familiar, not exact weight, but I didn't want a lightweight toy feeling guitar for taking on holiday. I wanted a guitar that felt substantial, yet overall wasn't as heavy as a conventional guitar, but didn't feel ridiculously thin or superficial, toy-like. And what you get out of this oak build is a really nice solid feeling, and it sustains really well. But that's obviously helped by this single wraparound bridge, which contributes most to the sustain, and the fact that there's no string length behind there, which is really important in getting maximum sustain. On these guitars, what else is there to notice on these guitars? Most of the hardware on this one is gold. We have a copper base plate at the bottom. I much prefer that, a kind of rustic homemade copper plate, than something, a chrome one or a gold one bought from a shop, and it's nicer to make this myself. Everything inside here is shielded. I do that for the single coils like the P90, as well as for the humbuckers. Just a quick close-up look. You can see this is contoured all the way around, and particularly it's got this sort of nice feeling cutaway here, and then beveled around the edges, and a nice sort of slope on this side here too, which comes down to join or meet the edge of where the 2 woods join. So it's a very pretty beastie and a lovely pattern on it, as you can see. It also, they drive the amp really well too. Just click on the distortion button. So, you know, nothing toy about that. Broken up sound. So I've used this one for rehearsing with my group, and it's great fun to play, and they all work really nicely on the strap. You'll see the next one I'll put it on a strap, but there you go. That's Reloved Guitars Oakcaster number 6 in red oak and giant sequoia, and you can see Morris with his top hat there, the face of Reloved Guitars. There you go. All right, so that's number 6 for you. Did I say number 6? Is it 5? No, this is I'm terrible. Do you know what? I'm lying to you. This is number 5. 5 sequoia. 5. I'm going to edit back over this with a big thing on the screen saying 5. Number 5. Sequoia red oak.